Okay, hope the contest went well, and then welcome to the USACO.Guide Informatics Tournament closing ceremony. So we're going to start off with our guest speaker. Our guest speaker is Rohan Garg. He is, next slide. Yeah. Okay, he is an IOI gold medalist and a 3 times USACO camper since 8th grade, and also Codeforce's international grandmaster. Today he'll be talking about some reasons why he likes competitive programming and general things related to that, as well as answering some questions. So if you have any questions for him while he talks, feel free to put them in the chat and he'll answer. He's also been peak top 6 overall on LeetCode. So I'll let Rohan get started.
Hi everyone. Um, I guess Melody already introduced me, but I have been doing competitive programming since I was in 8th grade pretty much, or like since the end of 7th grade. And so I'm like pretty experienced now in the field. And as Melody stated, I am an IOI gold medalist. So I went to IOI 2023 in Hungary, and I won a gold medal there. So I have spent a lot of time and a lot of my life doing competitive programming. So I wanted to talk a little bit about my journey and um and why I chose to pursue this field. So to start off, as I said, I started when I was at the end of 7th grade, at the beginning of 8th grade, and at that point, I had done a little bit of programming, but I wasn't that experienced. Like I just knew basic Python and Java syntax, and nothing really more than that. But the reason I chose to actually start seriously pursuing competitive programming was I had tried a USCO problem because like my parents just thought it might be interesting to me. And I really enjoyed the problem solving process. And most importantly, the little green accepted that comes up when you solve a problem. And I thought it was really satisfying to be able to start with something like some problem and break it down into smaller pieces that eventually become tractable. And I thought it was extremely satisfying to like finally get that accepted sign. And I just liked the structure of the problems and the contests where like you get feedback immediately and like you just get to and like there's like an infinite bank of problems and that are like pretty much like readily available to anyone. So when I started back when COVID started, I didn't really have anything to do at home. So I spent my time inside my school classes and outside of classes, just doing competitive programming and solving problems. And that's kind of how like I got to where I am today. So like more than anything, like I think the benefit of competitive programming and like the reason I like to do it is the problem solving that's there. Personally, like the implementation part, I enjoy that sometimes too, but I think that's the less fun part of it, at least. It is also useful and practically applicable because being able to implement well is pretty helpful for like programming in the future. But at least like in contests, my favorite part of the contest is coming up with the solution, and especially that like aha moment where you kind of come up with the solution like for the first time and like kind of realize how to do it. I think that's really satisfying, and that's kind of what like kept me going and kept me motivated throughout my journey. So competitive programming had a pretty large impact on my life. For while during COVID and like in like 9th grade, it was like in 8th and 9th grade, it was kind of like the biggest thing or like the thing I spent the most time on probably. It was my favorite hobby and it was like a hobby. Like that's how I viewed it. It was something I did for fun. And like the benefits of competitive programming are more than just like for your own enjoyment. Like as was stated earlier, it colleges love it. Like MIT loves it. And if you do well, like it's pretty helpful in job interviews as well in the future. But that's not really what motivated me when I was starting. So the something that is often overlooked when people discuss like why they're able to stay motivated for competitive programming, like if you ask people like at the top, like an answer usually is that, oh, I just find it really fun and I was able to keep myself interested. But for me, one of like the major reasons I was able to like keep working on it and keep going was because during COVID when like there was less social interaction, I found like friends on the USCO Discord server who like I could talk to and I could practice with. And I think that's one of my favorite parts about competitive programming, like the community. And if you go onto Code Forces and you go into like some Discord servers, like Ericto's Discord server, the Isco Discord server, you can find a lot of people who have like a similar interest. And I really like that part, and that was kind of what encouraged me to like keep working on competitive programming because I was able to find other people with the same interests. I was able to make friends, and like some of these friends are some of my closest friends today. So, having people like the CP community is honestly probably the thing that I appreciate the most out of everything that happened, just because of like the friends I was able to make and like the connections I was able to have, and just like everything that it did for me. So I think this is one of like, so I think for like a lot of people, one question they have is how do you stay motivated? So one, like my two advice is my like two major advices. One, like try to find people with like similar interests, try to make friends in the CP community because there are so many good people there and you will be like if you try, you will be able to find people who can help keep you motivated as well. And then second, try not to force yourself to like practice and like force yourself to do things. Like sometimes that does help, but if you're able to enjoy it and if you're able to do things that you enjoy, like for example, like even if there's like like I just try to solve problems. Like my practice strategy was just solve problems that I feel like if I was feeling tired, I didn't force myself to solve problems that were too hard. Or like and stuff like that. Just doing things like that. That like you like feel like doing or like that like you enjoy at whatever time it is, I think that will like maximize how much you improve. Because like when for like me personally at least, when I force myself to do things, I struggle to like actually like improve from the practice. And then the final thing that I wanted to talk about today was like advice for people who are just getting into it. So if you're like a US high schooler, the most people's first contest is USCO. And the primary like piece of advice that you'll get from pretty much everyone is to like just practice. And the like number one question, so like that is definitely the most important thing. Like just solving past USCO problems will is definitely enough to like get you to Plat and Camp and beyond. Like I got to Plat only from solving pretty much primarily solving USCO problems, I think. So I think like that is definitely true. But CPI has created a resource called USACO.Guide, which didn't exist when I started, but like I use it today sometimes when like there are topics that I don't know or like and in general, like I've looked over the resources and it's incredibly useful. It's very high quality and it actually like it has the topics that will show up in USCO contests. So just going through that and like looking at the topics and learning from there is a great like source. But also like just USCO.Guide will probably not be enough. Like just solving by topics is usually not like ideal because if you solve by topics, you kind of know the topic before you like start the problem. So you kind of have a hint at the solution before you even start. So like my recommendation is to like go through USACO.Guide and learn all the topics that are there. And they often link other tutorials and like have a variety of like options for like if you have different like preferences for like how you want to learn. Like you can watch the videos that they've linked there and stuff like that. And then after you're done, like just doing virtual contests and like practicing from old problems, that's generally extremely helpful. And one other thing I'd like to say is restricting yourself to USCO isn't like necessary. Like personally, I prefer Code Forces problems to USCO problems a lot of the time because I just like like the style of the problems more, and they're definitely very useful for USCO as well. And they're just a large problems banks on Code Forces. There's also like AtCoder, which is also a really high quality platform. So just branching out, and you can like switch platforms if you like problems of a certain style. Just doing things like that both helps with motivation and like helps you get different like skill sets. So I think that's all I have to like that's all I had like planned to say. If as was stated before, if you have any questions for me, I'd be happy to answer them right now. You can just put them in chat. Okay, pineapple on pizza. Personally, I don't like pineapple at all. Like I just don't like the taste. I feel like it's like a little too sweet. I don't know. It's just And then also like it has like the little like spiky things in them that make your tongue hurt when you eat. So most so pineapple on pizza is like bearable because the pineapple gets watered down, but I still don't like it. I'd rather not have it. Um, okay. So contest strategy. It depends. So I assume you're asking about USACO because I think the contest strategy in Codeforce is pretty straightforward, like most of the time. But for USACO, it's what I like to do is read the problems at the beginning of the contest. I read all three. But I try to like immediately the thing I do at the beginning is try to assess which problem is the easiest. Now, sometimes that's wrong. Like I think both days in IOI this year, I completely misjudged the difficulty of every single problem. But usually it's like I get a decent idea of how difficult each problem is, and then I try to work on the easiest. And at the beginning of USCO contest, I try to just full solve, because I want to solve as many as I can. And then eventually at some point, like I also look at the subtasks and decide if there's some easy subtasks that I want to go for, and sometimes like try to use the subtask to come up with a full solution. And then if I have a full solution, I usually just go and implement it. And otherwise, like at some point I just like switch to new problems. Like I switch around the problems and like switch around which ones I think about, or go for subtasks if I don't have that much time left. And um like it really depends because sometimes I just feel like I want to try solving a problem because I feel like I'll solve it or it's like the most that matches the style that I like. So I just like spend a lot of time on that one. But like in general, I just like switch around the problems and like try to solve all three at once kind of. Um okay, so best strategies to get better when you don't have a lot of time to just practice and practice. I don't like really know how to answer this question because like the way I see practice as like you have like some set of topics that you just need to know. Like there's some like standard set of like things that in your head that you kind of need to know if you want any shot at solving the problem. Like for example, it's kind of unlikely that you'll like discover, I don't know, like a segment tree in contest if you've never seen it before. It's possible, but it's pretty unlikely. And like if you don't know a segment tree before a segment tree problem, like you're at a major disadvantage. So after learning all of those topics, just the more you practice, like the better you'll get at recognizing which one to apply and like putting them together. Because that's all the problem is, like coming up with some observations to like piece together like different ideas that you've seen before. And the more you practice, one, the more like ideas you get in your tool set, and number two, like the easier it is to understand how to piece them together. So the way I see it is just like understand, like try to figure out like try to learn all the topics that you need to know, and after that, just practice as much as you can, because like the more you practice, the more it helps. So like it's kind of hard to say like a strategy if you don't have time to practice. Um, so when did I make Plat? So the way like my timeline was a bit like non-standard because it was during COVID and I ended up spending a lot of time during that time. But I made Plat in I think the January contest of my eighth grade. Um, so like at the beginning of that year, I was in silver. But like I made gold in the December contest and then I made Plat in the Jan contest. Um, Yeah, and then I took the Jan Feb and Open Plat contest. And then I made camp at the end of the year. So, okay, any advice for an IOI contestant from a country which will take part for the first time? Yeah, so it IOI is interesting because if compared to USCO, it's not actually like they have pretty different styles, like even in IOI problems. If like my advice for IOI is pretty much the same as my advice for USACO. The one thing, like, except instead of using USACO.Guide, you can kind of go off of the IOI syllabus because it like details exactly what set of topics you need to know. Um, but like if one other thing I'd like to say is that in IOI, one major difference is there's always like this one like weird problem. They have like interactives, like, and if you look at last year, the weird problem was day two, problem three, like the mouse one where it's a lot less like programming or algorithmic. It's kind of like it's like almost like a puzzle. So like and I think if this is like if you're not that experienced with like algorithms, like trying to practice those type of problems and going for those might be like a good way to maximize your score. Um, because like it's like there are a lot like if you think about problems as like needing some sort of like knowledge beforehand to solve the problem, those problems have a much like more restricted like knowledge set that you need. Like they have less prerequisites. And like if you're just like those problems are like purely problem solving. So I think practicing those would be nice. And then other than that, just like practice like old IOI problems. Like looking at USACO is also a good way to get prepared for IOI because that's really what US participants do. But yeah, like just like looking at the syllabus would be looking at the syllabus to like guide your topics and just like kind of do the same practice strategy as I stated earlier. So, what do I think of ad hoc problems? So, I like code forces and I like ad hoc problems. I think they're really satisfying to solve if you can solve them. But on the other hand, like I get frustrated like easily sometimes because I can't solve them, even though it feels like they should be solvable. So, like I think they're a good thing. Um, but like I think they're a good thing. Even though they're not my strength, I think they're interesting and I think they make competitive programming more diverse as a topic set. And I think they also like encourage like better problem solving as a whole. So I think they're a good thing, even though I'm not really the best at them. So um what is my opinion on USACO problems? So USACO problems, I think okay, so about like solving problems on Codeforce instead of USACO. Well, I don't think that's necessarily like the best advice because, well, if your goal is to do well in USCO, because like if your goal is to do well in USCO, you want to practice the things that will come in contest. And solving USCO problems is a good way to get like a representative sample of what will come in contest. So like if your goal is to do well in USCO, solving USCO problems is like the most representative way of doing that. Um, but like the problem quality, it varies. I think um, I think personally, I feel like it's been like this year and like last year it's been going down a bit. But I think some problems before have been really good. And even some problems this year, like I liked. So I think like practicing on USCO is still good. And like I think they offer like they have more implementation and more like algorithmic problems that like appear less often on courses, which other people don't really like which many people don't really like. But I still think that they're like often good problems, like and they're still like useful. So like I personally also prefer Code Forces problems most of the time, I think, but I still like what USCO has to offer. So I think like foregoing it completely is not like really necessary, especially and it's not like a good thing to do, especially if your goal is to do well in USCO. How many problems a day did I solve when I started preparing? Um, it's kind of hard to say because I honestly just don't remember. And it's kind of hard to estimate this because I think it varied. Um, but I know I spent like quite a lot of time, like more than a few hours a day, I think, because that's pretty much what I did while I was supposed to be in like online school because eighth grade online school was kind of a joke. So like I just did this during my classes instead of paying attention. And then like I spent some of my free time, like I spent a lot of my time after classes doing this too. So I know I spent like quite a lot of time. And also like keeping track of problems a day doesn't really, it's not really, it doesn't mean that much because what matters is like the difficulty of the problems you solve. And I feel like time, the amount of time you spend a day is like more important. And just like you have like a fixed amount of time you can allocate and you just want to maximize how much you can get out of that amount of time. So um and like that part of it is up to the participant or like up to each person and it changes. Like the way I would practice probably isn't the same as the way anyone else would practice, but yeah, like I just like to answer your question specifically, I just don't remember. And like also I don't think the information is that relevant. Are
Okay.
there
Oh
any
yeah.
other questions? Oh, um, this is my first time doing competitive programming. Can I get a list of other competitions or resources I can use to improve my skills? Yeah, so I think there is a page on this on USACO Guide. If you're in the US, like USCO is obviously a good one. And then the other ones that I recommend are like Code Forces and AdCoder. Those are like the big three for me. Like those are the three that like I don't really spend much time on any other like resources or competitions. On resources, I think USACO.Guide is like very comprehensive. You can also look on Code Forces for blogs if there's a specific topic that you want to learn. But in general, I think USACO.Guide is like pretty good.
Okay, I think we're gonna end it there. Thank you so much for talking, Rohin. And now we're going to move on to the raffle prizes.
Okay, raffle. And we'll be doing this live to kind of make everything more exciting. Can everyone see the screen? Oh, here's the first one. And we'll have this list out on in the announcements channel of the Discord, and we'll send it out as well. You don't have to worry about missing it. All right, there's our first winner. Congratulations to LDIF JP12. Now for the next one, we'll move them. And let's go, try two. And there will be 10 raffle winners, as mentioned previously. Okay, congratulations to our second winner, Omar Ahmed. Let's go ahead and move him and move on to number 3. And we'll reach out after the contest, the closing ceremony, with further information on how to claim your raffle. Okay, congratulations to Krish B6. Go ahead and remove you. Oh, congrats to Wavelets. That's our fourth winner. And if we can't contact you on email, we'll just honestly reach out on Discord. So be on the look there as well. Number 5 will be Al61. Congratulations. All right. Number 6. Oh, that is close. Okay. Congratulations to Avermani 10. Okay, 4 more. Oh, okay. Congratulations to Coding Gap for being number 7. And now we are down to our last 3 raffle winners. And then I just want to mention that shortly after this, we'll get into the winners for the standard and advanced divisions. So stay tuned for that. Oh, and congratulations to winner number 8, Lim Panda. We'll follow up on this, as mentioned, after the contest. Congratulations to number 9, Shafin 1000. And then we will now have our 10th. Oh, and I didn't remove him, but we have him written down so we can avoid him needed. But here's number 10. And congratulations to OK Clinty. That is our 10th and final winner for our raffle prizes. And congratulations, everyone. Once again, we'll reach out after the closing ceremony to discuss how to claim them. And now, without further ado, I'd like to move straight into our standard division winners. So we're going to be splitting each division into 2 separate halves. The first half of the slide will be slide numbers 8 through 4, and they'll have the $15 prize. And the second half will be dedicated to the top 3 grand prize winners. So at number 8, we have Dohun Kim. Congratulations. At number 7, we have Mitos Kosorowski, or UPED. Congratulations. At number 6, we have Emmanuel Perez Martin, Horizon West. Congratulations. At number 5, we have Brendan Wang. At number 4, we have Ivan Lee. Congratulations to everyone. Now I'll be passing it off to talk about the top 3 winners for the standard division.
Okay, so in third place we have Hudson Boy Mansurliev on Code Forces Unimpossible. In second place we have Kyle Liang, Barry the Green Bear. And in first place we have Boris Hall, MST6 fan. Congratulations on winning, and now we'll go into the advanced prizes or advanced winners.
All right, so now the advanced division winners. 8th place we have Samuel Moore. Congratulations. 7th place we have Alex Liang. Congratulations. 6th place we have Huang Xuanbach. Hopefully I pronounced your name correctly. And congratulations. 5th place we have Rohin Garg, our guest speaker. Congratulations. And 4th place we have Eric Su. Congratulations.
Okay, on to the top 3 in the advanced division. In third place, we have Thomas Liu, our USACO. Congratulations. In second place, we have Julian Wu, EM. Congratulations as well. And in first place, we have Gimran Abdullan, Bashkort. Congratulations on winning. Okay. Next, we have our advanced division winners for our non-pre-college students. So in third place, we have Yiming Lee, Lim Panda. Congratulations on winning.
And just to clarify, this is the place that would have gotten if you was not as a pre-college student.
All right, congratulations to all. Hopefully you've gained some more competitive programming experience, and we also hope you have a lot of fun. And here are some final remarks. First off, we'll be reaching out to prize winners, either through email or through Discord, or possibly through Code Forces. We'll find a way. Oh yeah, fill out the closing ceremony Google form. It's simply a reflection of our of the competition, just to collect feedback and hopefully improve it for next year. We'll be posting the link in the chat. Yep, so Melody has posted a link in the chat. The problems will be uploaded to Codeforce's gym, and so will the solutions and editorials. Again, thanks for participating, and we hope you had fun, and we hope to see you next year.
Okay, so that's the end of our closing ceremony. Thank you all for coming and participating, and we hope to see you next year.